In this video, we're looking at the question, what do new test scores say about learning loss? Now that COVID is drawing to a close and the country tries to recover, there are questions being asked about decisions made over the last 2 years. One of the most controversial was about school closures, with questions now being asked about how remote and hybrid learning have impacted student performance and the future workforce. Voters believe the pandemic had an impact. From the October survey for Winning the Issues, almost two-thirds, 65%, believe students are behind, with a third saying that students are now significantly behind where they would have been because of the closures. The results from the newest National Assessment of Educational Progress, also called NAEP, the nation's report card, provide one of the first looks at national-level student performance. To start, here is where proficiency stood back in 2019. 41% of fourth graders were considered proficient in math, and 35% were considered proficient in reading. Among eighth graders, 34% were considered proficient in math as well as reading. None of these shares are particularly high. For NAEP, proficiency means demonstrating solid academic performance, meaning that even before the pandemic, majorities of students were not demonstrating competency in these subject areas or that they were on track for future success. In 2022, those numbers dropped, math more dramatically than reading. In fourth grade, now 36% are proficient, a drop of 5 points. In eighth grade, only 26 are now considered proficient, an even steeper drop of 8 points. To put these numbers in context, this means that about 315,000 eighth graders are no longer proficient in math, which is the equivalent of the entire population of Cincinnati. While the reading performance drops by comparison look much smaller, in the context of past NAEP performance, they are also in significant decline. In 2017, 37% of fourth graders and 36% of eighth graders were considered proficient in reading. From 2017 to 2022, that's a drop of 4 points for fourth graders and a drop of 5 points for eighth graders. Math performance may have declined steeply since the pandemic, but for reading, the declines were happening even well before the pandemic closed the schools. So learning loss has occurred, but in the context of past performance, the pandemic only made a bad situation worse. Schools and policymakers have a challenge ahead of them as they try to make up for lost time. But these results also show we can't return to the status quo when it comes to the education of our students and future workforce. Source material for this video includes data from the nation's report card at nces.ed.gov and survey data available at winningtheissues.org. Thanks for watching.